Coming up on This Week in Plymouth, new events from the Recreation Department and the 2024 warrant articles are read. I'm Jonathan Picard, and welcome to This Week in Plymouth. The Planning Board met on the first of the month to hold their final public hearing on the 2024 zoning amendments. After some discussion from the public, the board passed Amendment 7 and Amendment 8 was left in the dust.
So, and our second amendment that we're considering this evening, Article 3, zones, maps, and regulations, and this is where we get to the overlay. Amend Article 3, the zoning map, and Article 14 to create a Fairgrounds Road residential overlay district, which would preserve the underlying zoning while allowing property owners the option of using the overlay district standards as an alternative.
It gives the opportunity for more housing, true, in an already densely populated area of Fairgrounds Road. There are many people who live there because they don't necessarily like the densely populated downtown. I'm not against this. I think that there needs to be more people on Fairgrounds Road in this area to weigh in.
At this point, personally, I would want to just push it forward, and if the voters decide not to go for it, then that can happen.
Whether it's put off another year or we let the voters, I think it's still going to be very unclear a year from now with a lot of people.
All in favor of moving this amendment to the ballot? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay.
3-3, it doesn't pass.
The elementary school board met on February 5th. The regular board meeting was mostly to prepare for the budget hearing. During the budget meeting, some public members looked for some clarification.
I was just wondering, are we not doing summer school, or does that come from other places?
That's a line that's been left over for at least a decade that has had $1 or $0 in it. So years ago, there used to be a separate summer school other than extended school year.
Okay, that's what I wasn't
that
sure.
was in there, so we just haven't used that line.
Okay.
On Article 3, the support staff collective bargaining agreement, is that included in your 2.4%?
No, it would be in addition to. So 2.4 is the appropriations. You vote on the collective bargaining agreement separately, and then it would be put in after that.
The operating budget is for $10,621,000 and change. What would be the effect if that were voted down? Would it revert to the current budget?
It's not a yes or no vote on the budget. The budget's proposed, and at the meeting, it can be discussed. It may be amended. If it were amended, that would require a vote of the legislative body, the voters in attendance, and then whatever the number settles on, that would be.
Clarification on preschool salaries, a $48,892 increase on salaries. Is that a result of hiring someone new?
So a teacher from a different grade was reassigned there, and it's just based on their salary on the.
After the public hearing, the board voted to move the budget forward to the district meeting that will take place on Monday, March 4th at 7 p.m. The Pemmy-Baker Regional School Board met the following night. Again, the board meeting was to primarily prepare for the deliberative session. The deliberative session saw a great turnout from the community, and one of the fastest sessions ever that took only 9 minutes. All 3 warrant articles passed to advance to town voting with no comments from the public. The Plymouth Select Board met this past Thursday for the second public hearing on the budget. This meeting was to announce and read the 2024 warrant articles. Out of the 27 articles, the board unanimously recommended all but one, which is a petition warrant article about the ballot counting method.
That brings us to Article 10, another petitioned warrant article in regards to ballot counting. To the town of Plymouth, New Hampshire, we the undersigned duly registered voters of the town of Plymouth, New Hampshire, hereby petition and apply for the insertion of the following petition warrant article. Shall the following provisions pertaining to elections be adopted? All voting shall be by paper ballot, and all ballots shall be hand counted only, rather than use of optical scanning or any other types of programmable electronic counting devices. This shall constitute a return to hand counting ballots and the immediate discontinuance of all electronic voting machines and electronic devices authorized for use by trial in RSA 656:40. Shall this article be passed, it shall be enacted by the town of Plymouth immediately.
I personally don't see that I would want to
I'm
recommend.
not in favor of that.
I'm not in favor.
I don't understand why.
Well, people distrust electronic vote counting.
Sure, but how long have we had electronic vote counts?
Since 2007.
And have we ever
2007.
had a problem, concern?
No, and the thing that strikes me, and Amy, I would love for you to speak on this as well. The thing that strikes me is we have the electronic voting machines, but every single ballot that goes through those machines, we collect those, we store those securely in tamper-proof boxes, and we hold them for 7.
No, so it
less
depends on
now?
the type of election. It's either 22 months or for federal,
Okay.
or 60 days.
So either way, there's ample
time.
time for people to say, hey, we think something happened here, and literally every one of those could then be re-inspected.
Correct.
At the end of the night, the first thing we do is we count those physical ballots that have been tallied by the machine to make sure the machine's count matches the ballot count. The accuracy would go down rather than go up. So if you're looking for fair and accurate elections, machines count these things much more effectively and much more efficiently than humans.
I'll make a motion that we not recommend this article.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving to this week's announcements, a new town manager report is available to read on the town website. Head on over to plymouthnh.gov to read the full report. The Planning Board has announced 2 public hearings for the next meeting on the 15th at 6:30 p.m. in the Town Hall meeting room. With town elections coming up, the annual Candidates Night is coming up. The positions up for election this year are a position on the Select Board, the Town Clerk, 2 library trustees, and 1 cemetery trustee. The event will be held in Peace Public Library on the 20th at 6:30 p.m. We here at PBTV will also be providing live coverage of the event. The Recreation Department has announced several events for the upcoming February break. Some events include a trip to Jay Peak Pump House Water Park and night skiing at Gunstock Mountain. These 2 trips require advanced registration, with the deadline to register being today, Wednesday, the 14th. The department has also announced their offered clubs for March and April. To get more information about the offered trips and events, please head to the Recreation Department Facebook page or their website. Peace Public Library has a special presentation coming up in collaboration with the New Hampshire Humanities and the Plymouth Historical Society. Galileo Galilei, the Starry Messenger, presented by Michael Francis. The presentation will be on February 21st at 6 p.m. and is free for the public and suitable for all ages. Plymouth Regional High School will be having Winter Carnival on Friday the 23rd alongside the Penguin Plunge. Switching to sports, the Kearsarge Plymouth Cats hockey team has been on their tear since the end of January. The Cats saw its first 4-game winning streak snapped against Division II opponent Lebanon Stevens Mascoma, 4-3. The Cats now sit with a new record of 8-5-1 overall.
It's a quick shot, takes a deflection. Curley backhands it up to Johnson. Johnson back down to the wall in the corner. Final 10 seconds. It's wrapped around to the left wing corner. Chance for one more attempt in on goal. Here it is. Score! The Cats win it in overtime with 1.9 seconds remaining.
Girls basketball had suffered a tough loss last night on the road at Lebanon, falling to the Raiders 43-37. The setback drops Plymouth to 4-11 overall this season. The Bobcats will be home for the final 3 games of the season, starting tomorrow night against Bow at 6 p.m. In a close battle at home last night, the boys basketball team came away with a 47-37 win over Lebanon. While the Bobcats led wire to wire, the Raiders were able to cut off the deficit down to 1 point in the third quarter. Plymouth was able to pull away in the fourth to secure the win. Bobcats sit 8-8 overall and are strongly in the hunt for a playoff spot. Before the game, the team recognized the 5 seniors playing in their final home game of their career. Ski jumping returned to Gene Ross Memorial Ski Jump last week. The event saw Plymouth take 2nd overall with only 4 jumpers. Ryan Killian placed 3rd overall for the Bobcats. Plymouth returns to jumping tomorrow in Conway as Kennett hosts the state and national championship at the Chip Henry Ski Jump. Looking into the rest of the week, the Planning Board will be meeting on the 15th at 6:30 p.m. in the Town Hall meeting room. If you have any news stories you think we should cover, or if you're looking to create your own show, contact us at the station with the information on your screen. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time for another episode of This Week in Plymouth.